Hello, beautiful. And what I want to know is what is good in your life today? I'm Kia, and this is another episode of the Female Veterans Podcast. Today, I have someone really, really cool with me. She has lived a lot of lives, and that is something I know a little something about because I feel like I'm on I don't know, my seventh life. She's an Army combat medic, right? She served for 4 years, and we're going to talk stories today. She's had an extraordinary life. We're going to get into stuff like what her experience was like, were some of the challenges she faced, what was awesome about serving, and what her transition back to civilian life was like, and of course, what she's doing now. So, if that's something that interests you, then stay tuned and hear all about Brooke as she shares her true military story, the good, the bad, and everything in between. With me, Kia, your host. Before I bring her on, let me give a quick shout out to Mental Health Code, who is my sponsor. And also, a lot of people often ask me how can they support female veterans? You can do that by supporting Hope for Veterans, right? I'm on the board there. We do a lot of work for female veterans. I am also a big supporter of the Barbara Giordano Foundation. So those are two places where you can go and support female veterans. And as always, if you want to be a part of the show, drop a comment, share, like, subscribe for sure. And without further ado, let's get into it and bring out Brooke. Welcome, Brooke.
Hello, beautiful.
Hey, girl. Hey. So I want to dive right into it. Okay. You have to tell me what made you join the military?
so, um, I grew up in a military family. My dad is retired lieutenant colonel in the special forces. They're all pilots. Um, brother was in Desert Storm in the Marines, and like it's always been in my head or whatever. But I was the girl, and I kind of when I got out of high school, I did what every good girl does, and I started working at Hooters until I went to Ball State University. So um, then I joined when I was 32. So I married a guy who was in the Navy. So I was down in Biloxi for a couple of years, and he got out. We moved to Virginia, and then of course it worked out. Um, so um, I, I honestly I did it because I knew I could do it, and I've always wanted to do it. And I was right there at that age limit, and I had to get out of Virginia and away from my ex-husband. And he he had my daughter, so I didn't want her to think that I was like abandoning her or anything, just for selfish reasons. Like I was on a mission, and so joining the army was the way I could.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that. So many people that I talk to on this podcast joined because they felt like they had to get away from someone or something, or they needed a life change. Or like me, I wanted money to go to school. I want to go to college. And because of my upbringing, like we didn't
Yep,
have the money for me to go to school. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna put myself through school. And so off to the
too easy.
military I went. And you know what? My mom always wanted to go to the military and she aged out. So when you were like, I was right at that age and I decided to get in there, I felt that because I watched my mom miss it and how sad it made. I think that's
Right.
part of the reason why I ended up in the military because she was like, you're going, you're going. So she got to like live through me a little bit.
I absolutely promote it to anybody because it may be bad, it may be great. I mean, but anyways, you get free education and you get to go somewhere else, you know.
Hmm.
And if it
Hmm.
doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. At least you tried. I mean, I give that. So Yes.
So so tell me, what was boot camp like for you?
Yeah. So I've listened to a few of your podcasts, and everybody's like, "I love boot camp. I loved boot camp. I had so much fun there." No, me, seriously. I'm like, I feel that, and another one was like, I had a great time in boot camp. Like, I'm still friends with some of the sergeants. Like, I'm still friends with my recruiter. But
Wow.
boot camp was awesome. I loved it. It, it went hard.
What is your favorite memory from boot camp?
Um, well, we went through five first sergeants, and the last first sergeant ended up being my platoon sergeant, and she was a medic too, and she let me and the other older um, soldiers go to the PX and get hair dye before graduation
It's
because
the
we
little
were grown
things,
ups.
honey. You like you know, like if
And
you
some,
were in
and
the
some
military,
mascara,
right, right. Like if you were in the military, you understand how precious that was. Like, to get to go get some hair dye.
right?
What, and mascara?
Right? Go
What?
to the PX. Yeah. That's it.
That's awesome. Boot camp, you know
But
what? I
yeah,
don't know if I had the best time in boot camp because it was hard. But
right?
I imagine Navy boot camp was not quite as hard as Army, but I did make
Oh
some
yeah.
amazing connections. Like I loved the girls.
Yep.
I loved the guys. We had a dual company as it was called back then, and so we had guys was part of our company, and then us girls
Yep. Guys,
were the
guys.
other. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, so the thing is I went in so long before you did, because you went in 2012, right? So that's
Yeah. You. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I went in a little bit before that. And so when
Oh, I
I
know.
was
I
going
heard that.
through, it was like rare. Now I think now it's kind of the way it goes, but back then it was like this special new thing that they were doing, right?
Oh
Which is
yeah.
really
Yeah. Yeah.
crazy.
I
Yeah,
mean,
so I loved it. I
yeah.
loved it too. I It was such a vibe. To But like definitely lots and lots of challenges. But I definitely think my favorite part was on Sunday, after, like, if you went to church after that time period was done, you got free time. And we got to, maybe help each other, like iron or work on your boots or like whatever, but we would be talking, and it was my first time hearing from all of, like, meeting people from like New Orleans or California, or it was my first time being in a place with people from all over the country. And I
Right.
really felt like having an opportunity to meet like a girl from a tiny little town who was like the first time she was ever out of this like town with one stoplight. And she got to meet
Yep.
all of us, and we got to meet her, and like connect to that energy and get to know each other and understand one another better. And that is, I think, one of my favorite things about being in the military at all, which was the diversity and getting to learn to accept and appreciate people that are not like you and you would have never
Yeah.
met otherwise.
Mm-hmm. So I absolutely think that. Like, I didn't see any of it, but it's like there's no racism in the military. Like that's my that's my dudes right there. They don't care. Like there's not that. It's not that thing. And then when we get out and we see all this, we're like, what the fuck? Like we don't like
Mhm.
yeah. You all bleed red. I promise. I promise.
Mm. Mhm.
But
Mhm. I
I
love
didn't see
that you put it
a
that
lot of
way. You would know.
sexism. A lot of sexism. But watch me. Watch me.
I see no lies. There's no lies spoken. Women do have to work pretty hard to have some recognition and stuff. We have to sort of prove ourselves while we're in there, which may
Hmm.
not be fair, but it is the way it is when you go into an environment that is mostly men. I mean, women make up
Male
less than a
dominated.
quarter. of the armed forces. And
Hmm.
so we really have to get in there and prove ourselves, right? Which is
Action.
what we do.
Okay. So on that note, um, since I was in a non-deployable unit, I did get to do a couple of really cool things. Um, so my sergeant major found out I did roller derby, so he was calling my derby name and stuff, and knew I was kind of like badass or whatever. And so I got chosen to be one of the participants in the study that ultimately allowed females to be in artillery, which was once an all male dominated MOS. So like we put all the things on us, and we had a male counterpart. We went in and did everything that the males did, so everything was like equal. So that blew my counterpart out of the way. I could have been mom, tell you what. But girls can do it. There's
It's
some girls
true.
who can't be medics, and I'll say it right up. There's some
Hmm.
dudes who can't be medics. I'll say that too.
Hmm.
You can do the job, and you're competent. Hopefully, I don't see why not. And if it doesn't work out, reclass, bro. That's it. I don't know. But yeah, you can do that.
So since
But
you
yeah,
brought
so
up
yeah.
about being non-deployable in your unit, I want to ask you, like, after you got out of boot camp, what was your experience going on to active duty like then? Because I was a hospital corps. You were a combat medic. Hospital corps is not the same as being a combat medic. Okay, that's like working in the hospital. That we would be for us in the Navy, a combat medic is field med, or at least it was when I was in. So it's a little bit
Mm.
different. Tell me what your experience was like. Well, why did you get into that? What was that? Why did you choose that MOS?
Why? Okay. So my dad was a doctor. Well, he was a dentist, and then he was like a um, attaché from Cambodia to Laos, and he was a dentist. That was his. You know, he was also uh, a spy, I guess. So he would fly over to do dentist work and do information and stuff like that. And um, I used to work at his dentist office downtown, like as a teenager, like every time it gets audited, I have to go through all the things and assist on a root canal. Gross, but And I grew up in the trainer's office at the high school. I was a gymnast and a cheerleader, and I sprained my ankles a lot. I broke some arms, I pulled muscles, so I got very proficient at taking care of myself in rehab and I don't know, just common sense. And then my ASVAB score was uh, high, so it was either I could do anything I wanted. It was like EOD or combat medic, and EOD it's a long AIT. It's like a year long AIT, and I still wouldn't mind doing it, but um, so I chose combat medic, and um, so as the medics go in my non-deployable unit, so I got out of boot camp. Then AITs at Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio. Um, you go there, I don't know, 3, 4 months or something. I think 6 months. No, not 6 months. It's like 4 months. And so you become a nurse per se, and that's hard. Uh, it wasn't easy, but I prepared already ahead of time because my dad used to do soap notes, and soap notes is how the military's run because he was a military doctor. So I had a little edge on that. So that's kind of why I took that. And I mean, um, I give a shit about mental health, and I know, like, don't lie to me, dude. Like,
Hmm.
and then I mean, I went in like as a 30. I already had a baby, and I had taken care of, you know, everything you could possibly take care of on the fly. You know, I just came naturally to me. I say, so,
Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, I identify with a lot of that. Same thing, like scored well on the ASVAB, told me that I could do whatever I wanted, but my recruiter was like, "What do
mhm.
you want to do?" And I was like, "I don't know. I just want to have fun and I want to see the world." Like those were my goals for the Navy
Yeah,
and getting
see,
my GI Bill,
I
right?
already knew.
Like,
Uh, but
because
you were
because
18, of course. Hell,
I was actually 17. Like, I went
I
on
was
a delayed
17.
enlistment till I graduated high school. Like, and I just
Yeah,
yeah, I
too.
didn't even take like the SATs or anything because I just knew I was going to the military. So or, like I knew at 16.
Oh, I
But
love it.
so then I started the process. So for my little mind at the time, I was just like, I just want to, I was in private school. So I was like raring to break free and get wild. So I was
Uh,
like, this is why I
you were like a
joined the Navy. Which branch has the most fun? The recruiter for the Navy really sold it on how much fun I would have in the Navy. And I wanted to see the world. And he was like, well, you go on a ship, you'll see the world. Spoiler alert, I did not go on a ship. I
lady.
did not
Yeah, I
see
was
the
just
world.
saying.
And
I
I
know,
agree
right?
with you.
I,
I
you
totally
had
agree with you.
the opportunity of some.
Yeah.
I mean, some people do.
Yeah, right. The opportunity was there.
If you're lucky, yeah. But I was in the other line waiting. Heard of the wait line over here.
So,
Yeah. Oh
well,
yeah. But that's absolutely true. He didn't lie to you. He
mm,
didn't lie because it
he
just so
did
happened
not
that your
lie.
past did not make it there. Your past just didn't make it over there. You know
No, that's not where my path took me. But he did say, "What do you
exactly.
like to do?" And I was like, "Well, I like really health conscious. I like to take, eat like I told him I like to eat well and work out." And he was like, "Oh, eat well? Well, dietitians work in the hospital. You go work in the hospital. You could do that. You want to work in the hospital?" And my mom worked in the hospital. So she was like for that. And I was like, "Okay, well, I'll go work in the hospital."
Man,
So so I would have gone to be on the ward and been a nurse, but when I was in A school, I was like, this is like trying to put do blood draw and IVs were like not for me. I was like, this is not gonna.
oh
I can't see
yeah,
myself doing this like every day, all the
yeah.
time. So I went
Um,
pharmacy. Like so that's the
okay,
path that I ended up going down. But
that's
I
not
took a
bad.
little stint in medical records first. So I was like administrative and then went into medicine. So never saw the
Okay,
ward, never did like proper nursing, but
okay.
it was fun.
You
It was good. I enjoyed what I did.
girl, we need pharmacists.
Mhm,
I would be dead without a pharmacist.
mhm.
You know, but that's dope. Like I mean, that's not that's and so I don't make fun of you guys as much as the Air Force. It's Air Force. So you know what I
Everybody
mean?
makes fun of the Air
As you
Force.
did say, yeah. When we were so, look. I give so much props to the Air Force. Thank you so much for the barracks at Fort Sam Houston. They were gorgeous, and all the other amenities. Because the Air Force pays for it.
Well, I
And
mean, they have a good life over there. Okay, I'm not no tea, no shade.
no,
And I mean, it is a wise
but
choice when you really think about it.
every time someone's like, "Is there something you could say?" There's three words you could say to yourself back when you were 18. What would you say? It's like, "Join the Air Force." Every time. Every
I
time.
mean, it was down between. So I had got it down between. So my mom wanted me to join the army, and I was like a kid, right? So I was like rebelling. So I'm like, I'm absolutely not joining the army. But my brother went army. So I was down between the Air Force and the Navy for me. And the Navy recruiter sold me on the fun, man. So I I
Did
went
you
there,
watch
but
Top
honestly,
Gun?
yeah, I love
You
Top
watched
Gun.
Top Gun.
I
Hmm.
mean, who doesn't love Top Gun?
I know that Top Gun 2 killed the game too. I'm not even gonna
Yeah,
lie.
it was good. I wasn't mad
Best
at it.
sequel
I
ever.
was worried. I'm not
Best
gonna lie.
sequel. Always, always. And I'm not gonna lie, Battleship, I can get down.
Oh, I love that movie. I show that my kid
I
loves
love
that
it.
movie because I'm like, we're gonna watch this. Well, there's a Navy movie, we're gonna watch it.
Yep. I watched, I think I just watched that the other day. I love that. I like the soundtrack in the back too is killer. And
Yes.
hot guys in uniforms. I'm
Hot
down.
guys in uniform. Come on. And that was our life. Okay. And actually hot girls in uniform because that's what we were. So,
Yes. Thank you.
yes.
Not even
So
gonna lie. Not even gonna lie.
this is
Oh,
why I love getting
on that
together with
topic,
veterans.
I just on that topic. Well, answer me this. So when you're at the PX and you see this fine ass man, and he's got this dumpster fat wife pushing the cart, what is that, guys?
I don't know how it
I mean,
happens, but it's like the
I'm like,
norm.
I'm like, and I like I'm single the whole time. You know what I mean? I'm just like,
Mhm.
what am I doing wrong? Do I need to gain some weight? No, I don't know. I had track here too.
You're a wild girl, you know that. So, okay, so tell
I
me,
have
tell
no
me,
idea.
tell me about because I have so many questions for you. So tell me, like, okay, once you got into active duty, where were you stationed, and what was that like for you at your first command?
And only. And I got stationed. I got put down at Fort Bliss, in El Paso, Texas.
Mm.
I didn't know anything about it. Not really any of us knew anything about it either. One of my cadres told me it was the testing unit for the Army. Also, my unit there. So when the Army buys products, we take them out to the middle of the desert and we test them. So, like, yeah, we get
When
to
you
test
say
like meat and blow
products,
stuff, hmm like drones and um, artillery. Um, we have, and you know, everything that the Army buys has to be tested, and we test all that stuff.
so
And
that
they, and yeah, good.
I was gonna say it sounds fun, but also a little bit dangerous.
uh, yes, you do not have to go overseas to do dumb stuff. So, um, and it's stuff that like so we would go. So what happened is we would have field problems, and they would last 1 to 2 months at a time. And so we were like we were at White Sands, New Mexico once, gorgeous. But yeah, and so we literally you build a fob. You got your everybody, you got your cooks, you got everybody and all their like stuff, and you set up everybody, and they have notional field problems. And as a medic, yeah, you just call me when you got sea wire in your nose or a UTI because you hold your bladder because you don't want to go pee. But like, uh, yes, like it's training. It's training. It's almost real world. It's real world training for medics because like people are dumb anyways. So like someone like taking down the sea wire, they're in the big tubes and you gotta pull it out because it like hooks in. And this girl, she was too short. She's about my height. She pulled it up and it slid down and went right through her nose. And noses have a lot of capillaries, but she's fine. And then we were at Porta Johns. We would have to be in full mop gear, like what is a mop for? We would straight up for like full battle rider everywhere we went because we were technically in theater, you know. And so yeah, but it was, some of the stuff is kind of stupid and uh, didn't make sense. But of course, I mean that's the military sometimes.
That's true. Like that's I think that's one of the biggest things that people who've never served may not understand, right? Is that a lot of times things don't make sense to you while you're serving, right? But sometimes you just got to do it anyway, and you do what's necessary, even if you don't agree. And sometimes that's really challenging.
It's hard.
Yeah,
It
super
well,
challenging.
it's just not even that. It's just it's the leadership that is toxic and just I didn't oof, like like yeah, you get like it was difficult with the whole like leadership, and it was because I think it was because I was so old. I had the highest security clearance. I was the only one who could enter in anybody's medical record with, what do you call it? Well, shit, you do it. Um, but like, there's only two people in the whole battalion, two or three people in all that could put in med pros, and like it's just almost I want to say jealousy a little bit because I was good at my job, but I was only E3, well, and I was 32, so I already knew like it's just mm, some things make
So
absolutely no sense. Mm.
So I was actually going to ask you about that because, a lot of us, we go in young, but I have done several interviews with people who have gone in older and they faced particular challenges, like kind of like what you're saying, because you're older, you've been living life, you've got a bunch of like experiences under your belt. And then you have
Yeah, you're not
sometimes
gonna
leaders.
break me.
Yeah, you'll have,
Yeah,
like, leaders sometimes that are younger than you, and they're, like, making these decisions, and you're like, "Why would you like, this makes no sense," but you can't really challenge them, and if you do, sometimes there's serious repercussions, or because you're older, you just have a different worldview, and there's certain challenges that come with, like you said, like, jealousy, certain what were some of those challenges like specifically? Like you said there was leadership, but like what were some of the things that you found that were particularly challenging because you were older?
um, well, I was it's funny in AIT when I first got there. Um, the sergeants noticed I was older and kind of made fun of me about it at the beginning, but they actually apologized to me. And I was always the NCOIC. They called me the Needle Ninja because I never missed a vein. Um, I was I was like calm and correct. I knew my nine line, and we all became friends. And actually, they apologized to me. They're like, we made fun of you because of your age, but you haven't lost patience yet, and like you take charge and like slow down, think this through, and I don't lead other people. And I did moulage. I love that because I get to make like broken legs and stuff on people. But yeah, it was hard that way. And then I was so when I on at Fort Bliss, where I would be up in the at the battalion um offices. So like I had S2 and everybody. Like I was in one of those cubicles because I was doing the appointment line um, all day, and I would make, and then people would come to see me with their they got their eyes checked or hearing and stuff like that. They bring me the stuff, and then I enter it into their actual medical records, and then I do assessments on if you're red, yellow, or green for deployable. I send out notifications to all the of all the units to which soldiers need to get checked for this, so they can be green and deployable, but up to date. Um, so I was up there like Lieutenant Colonel's right there. He was awesome. Everybody like those are my dudes because they were all officers, you know, and they were older. They were my age, and I got like I think that kind of pissed my sergeants off too because they all loved me because I did a good job, and my PA loves me, and my captain loved me, like in the medical, like over at the uh, soldiers, I guess not. I mean, I did work at William Beaumont for a little bit, but that's our main base. We were off on the east side on a new, bigger, um, sandy base. That's all sand. Um, but I that's because I was like smart and had common sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's okay, great, I got it, done, it's easy, and I do it. Fun, right? And I did it. And then I made shit easier because I like redid all the like the paperwork that I had to do at the end of the week and send it to commander, you know, did all that like and and state call. I would do state call. Um, then I would be at the clinic. Well, like on base. With our PA worked at the clinic, and she was awesome. She so just so when soldiers went in, she had medics there helping her do like intake and stuff like that, questions and anything. It was cool because I got to do a lot of different stuff. I got to meet a lot of different people. I wasn't like in I wasn't sweeping. I wasn't sweeping outside in the motor pool while training. Plus, but yeah, like I actually had work to do and I did it and I loved it. I was good at my job and I loved everybody up there. But like over at our unit, like yeah, they just got because I don't think I got favored, but like everyone was cool with me. Like they were all everybody was kind of really douchey in my unit, real douchey, like super like there was one of every kind of douche you could possibly think of in my unit. None of them over well, yep,
Of course.
every age, every age. I could pick one of out and be like, my platoon sergeant had tattooed eyebrows and didn't know how to use a compass when she was trying to do her class. I was like, and then but I just did my job and went on my merry way because I didn't hang out with anybody from there.
I love the
But
the shade that you just threw on a lot. There was a lot of shade that came through, but honestly, like I think that
but
it's true because there are people who are like skiving off, as they say, when other people are doing the work. Like there's people who will allow you to pick up their slack. Some of those people are in positions of leadership, right? There are people who don't do the job correctly, but they're skating through. There is a lot of favoritism sometimes. Um, then there's just people who like you because you do your job, like because and they know who's going to do the work and who's not going to do the work. And then there's
yeah,
the normal kind of favoritism where people just like you, so you get favored, like or some people, and they get
yeah,
preferential treatment, and you see it, you know. And I always tell my kids
yeah.
it's a really shitty when favoritism exists, but it does exist. So if you have to be
It,
someone, be the favorite, right?
look, it's not bad. Like I mean, it it the favoritism in the army wasn't bad favoritism. Like I got picked to do this cool study. I got picked to, they called me first. You know, I was docked. you know, and they knew it would get done, and then that I wouldn't complain about it. Like voluntold, yeah, I'm out, I'm good, let's go. I was learning, you know. So, but yeah, favoritism. The worst one I probably saw was yeah, this little um I don't know, not Asian girl. She was like Filipino or whatever, but she's very like short, maybe 100 pounds. You know what I mean? 300 PT score, of course. You know, she's 20 and she's small. Um, can't carry her own um medical bag or fireman carry a soldier anywhere. She pull anything. Like how's she gonna pull anybody out of a medical situation or carry anybody? It's like if you fall down, I gotta carry you, your equipment, with me and my equipment and my gun and your gun and hopefully not suppressing fire at the time, but you know what I'm saying? So this girl, and they gave her all the praises, 300 PT score, blah 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 blah. Like like if you're running she can run a quick 2 miles. Who's she running from? Because she's in the wrong place as a medic. You run 2 miles from no one. It was just like, and then I never made weight, 2 pounds over. But it's like I'm 5'4", like I tried to get that 5'5", right? And then they would tape me. I wore extra small ACUs. Like I weighed 150 pounds. I mean, I was muscle. You know what I mean? And they would tape me, and my neck wasn't big enough. I don't know what to do. Tape your neck. I'm like, if I had a bigger neck, I used to max out the men's push-ups, and then they put me in remedial PT because I didn't make my weight by a couple of things. And I get up, I get to the remedial PT. I'm like, well, it's still working out. I'm cool. And he's like, what are you doing here? I was like, I didn't make weight, and the tape, my neck's not big enough. Can you make my neck big enough? And he's just like, because yeah, it was, like I said, stupid. It made no sense. But yet, it's like, you can go on a, what do you call it, like a profile. You see all these lazy asses doing their walk. Um, yeah, this is like I said, just
So,
out of their um,
so tell me, I'm curious because earlier you were talking about leadership and you were like some of the
mhm,
leadership was toxic. What was your experience with that at your duty station? I'm curious to know.
right. So, um, ooh, give me one sec. Ah,
It's a live
well,
podcast. We just
that's
roll with
live.
it.
Um, so before I got there while my unit was out in the field, so I had to hang tight until they got out.
Mhm.
Um, I met a couple of them, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to this party or whatever off base," So I'm like, "Oh, sure, let's go." Meet new people, and one of the sergeants, well, I guess my was it mine? Yeah, my yeah, one of my platoon sergeants was there, and he was an older gentleman, older than me. He was in his 50s, and yuck and creepy. And like I hadn't even been to the unit yet, like in my uniform. And this dude tries to get me back into a bedroom.
Oh, whoa, I was not well, I mean, I should have been expecting that, but I was not expecting that.
And like pulled me down like on this like twin bed. And I'm like, because I went back there because he said like, oh, I need help with this bed for her child or something. And I'm like, yeah, I'll help. Like I'm that person. And before that to constitute like I was in a dangerous situation because we all just met. I just got there, and yeah, try to do that. Yeah, I about well, I did it casually because I just got there and I knew. I just thought maybe he just had too much to drink. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I played it off with him. And I was like, I need to go home and blah, 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 because I didn't want to, like, you know, I don't know. But from that point on, he was pretty much the biggest dick to me in the world. And, um, yeah, and he was horrible. And I talked to the PA. I mean, trying to talk to the PA about it, but she's like, "What are you gonna do?" Because it's like retaliation. I just got there. I just felt like there was gonna be retaliation, and there was, even though I didn't do anything, because he felt some sort of way, but nobody else knew except me. But he still challenged me. And then my first sergeant um, asked me out one time, and I said no. And then I get a call saying I need to see the captain, and I'm like, okay. So I walk in, and and he's in there too, and I'm like, what's going on? Well, we've been hearing some rumors that you've been sleeping around, and um, like we hear it from a lot of people, and that yeah, and we just want to let you know that people are talking, and like I didn't have sex with anybody there. Like like I was cool girl. Like I would pick I would pick my engineers up from the strip clubs when they were too drunk. Like I would give people, hanger IVs, you know, and
That's some
yeah,
bullshit, is what
he
that
took it
is.
some sort of fucking way. He took it some way. Yep.
When you said toxic
Yeah.
leadership, I did not like I didn't my mind didn't go here. Like this is some real bullshit. Like honestly, like I thought you were going to be like they, you
So
know,
here's a couple more things. So um, when I went out and I met another girl. She's not in the army. Her husband was. Um, he was he was an officer in another unit. You know what I'm saying? And her and I became friends. We did karaoke and stuff. Um, and they were going out of town and asked me if they would watch their son. I'm like, absolutely. I've been over there before. And they what was it? They were doing room inspections on, like, they popped up a room inspection on like a Saturday or something, and I was like, you can go inspect my room, but I was like, I'm babysitting this evening or whatever. I was like, I can't not babysit. I was like, it's like my little side job, and I was like, he's in the military too, and blah blah. They wrote me up for they said I wasn't allowed to babysit for officers, and they made me write like a 5-page um, thing on how I wasn't allowed to go over there anymore. Um, or fraternization. I was like, it's her husband. Like we're all uh, like, and then um, I was dating a guy at the very end, and he was sergeant first class um, in another unit, and uh, they he was a ranger, and they found out somehow, and they tried to get me to write the whole fraternization thing, uh, how it's not right, and I was like, I said no. I was like, you want me to just, nobody else knows about this. You want me to have a class and put my business out there because it's wrong? I'm like, nah, no, I'm not the one. I was like, that's not, no, not doing that. You fucking stupid. Like, I wasn't doing anything wrong. He's not. He wasn't even an officer. He was in a whole different brigade. Like, I messed with no one. I didn't need to. They're all kids. They're all dumb. I'm good. Just sat in my room and did online assessments. Uh, People used to pay me to do their SSD ones because, yeah, I would do that.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean, that is crazy. Like, so, okay, but I cannot stop thinking about that situation with you getting pulled into that room. Were you able to navigate your way out of that without anything?
yep,
Thank the
yeah. I
Lord.
played
Oh,
it. Well, no, I played it off because I didn't want him to think I was some sort of way, like like accusing him or anything. I didn't want anybody else to think that too because that would start something too. And I just got there. I was like, oh no, and I grabbed my coat and she was on the bed. I was like, oh, there's my coat, and I just like put it on. I was like, guys, I have to go, and I just kind of like, and he got the hint, but I didn't express outly express like this back here trying to get me on the bed. No, I just
no, because we don't- like
do.
most of us don't do that because like so I feel like the way you handled that situation is how a woman in the military often has to handle a situation, right? Because we're in a really delicate position. First of all, you had just got there. Second of all, like
He was
this
my
person is your
he was
superior,
here.
right? And you need to walk a fine line between getting yourself out of a situation you can feel in your body has become dangerous for you, and also not making waves because you don't want to be a
Yeah,
problem. You don't want to have
it
any
was.
problems, right? And
Mm,
you just want to get out of the situation and not make a fuss. When that's an assault in and of itself, and it's wrong. But yet, at the same time, a lot of us in the military now, while you were very lucky, and a lot of my guests are not, and I was very lucky, admittedly. There are
I was
so
only
many
one.
situations that you find yourself in that are like that, where you can feel in your body you're in some trouble, but you also don't want to make waves. And it's a really shitty situation to be in as I think a woman, but oftentimes, more often than it should be, that is a situation we find ourselves in, right?
Right.
The other thing is too the retaliation then. I mean, all right, dude, like I wasn't feeling you,
No,
but you can't let it
I
go. Like honestly, like
I know.
you're gonna make it a situation where
Right.
it has to be super uncomfortable for both you, for
Mm-hmm.
at least
Right.
especially for me. But you're so what are you getting out of being a dick to me then? Like I didn't make waves, I didn't tell anybody, I didn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This is why
I
women
actually
don't
do because
report.
I think it's crazy. Okay, like, and I get that. Like, and this was only like one incident, or yeah, yeah. I even told. So I this one of a veteran's friend's daughter is going to be a medic, and I have connected with her because her mom was like, "Hey, can you tell her what it's like to be a medic?" Blah blah blah. And I talked to her straight up about that. I was like, "You could be a virgin, and if you say no, it don't matter. You gonna talk shit like that.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
thing." So it's like that is like you could be a virgin, and if you say no to somebody and they feel some sort of way, you are now the bear toe.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And
The
that's
the
true.
guy you turned down, like, and then all of a sudden, what, like like the audacity, and then, but they
Mm-hmm.
can do it because it within the confines of the military and the unit and everything. This kind of stuff really does happen. Like, but when you think about it, like as a civilian, and I'm sure it happens within companies and stuff too, but because it's just like
It does.
it's a
It
bullshit
does.
dynamic that a lot of times women have to deal with. But like they pull you in and they're like, we're hearing things. And just so you know, we want you to know that people are talking about your sexual. Like, how many lines are we crossing with that right there?
I mean, it's defamation, but like that's not a fucking thing in there. Like, and
And
like, and I'm really good at just like, like, cool. I'm gonna go back and do whatever I was doing anyway. Like, congratulations, you're a dick.
that's the right attitude. If I ever heard one. Congratulations, you're a dick. That should be on a t-shirt. But
All right.
honestly, that is kind of like the right mindset. So one of the reasons I made this podcast was for young girls who were contemplating
Yeah.
going into the military or young women.
Do it.
And they were like, okay, well, I want to hear real stories about women who served and what they experienced, right? And this
Yeah.
is it. Like, this is it. That mindset that you had right there of this just
Mm.
happened. It was bullshit. Congratulations, you're a dick. I'm going to go on about my business and do me anyway. That's the
I'm gonna
way.
do my job. Why don't you try
Yeah.
doing yours?
And be good at it.
You know,
And be good at it.
and just
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, it makes no sense. It made no sense. I will say, okay, on a little asterisk, that the first guy, my platoon or my squad leader, he was a sergeant. He was a 55-year-old sergeant. He's been in for like 10 years. He was a sergeant for 10 years. But anyways, his wife ended up committing suicide there. Yeah.
Oh
She
my
jumped off a bridge, and he was at the bar that I was at when it happened.
Oh my
I
God.
had just seen him there.
That's
Yes, girl.
wild.
Yes, girl. And she didn't die till they got to the hospital. So it wasn't, they didn't, like the whole like insurance thing or whatever, like, not, she didn't die from that act of
Mm-hmm.
suicide. Like, he still gets her money. Don't you know he was married like 3 months later? And then PCS, PCS to Hawaii. So it's like, yes, just let him scoot that on because he's awesome. Track record,
Unbelievable.
like,
That's
like
freaking
it
crazy.
blew my mind. Like, the thing blew my mind that went down. It blew my mind. I'm just like, and people are just watching it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how many memos you have to get.
That is crazy. Girl, so you were in for 4 years, right? Okay, now I know I don't have to ask you what your biggest challenge was while you were in there, but what is your biggest, like the thing that you loved the most about being in?
Well, I do have the biggest challenge. That wasn't it.
That
That wasn't even
girl.
close.
Okay. Okay. Back
You,
it up.
are you
Back it
ready?
up.
Are you ready?
Yep. Mhm.
Ready? All right, here we go. So I told you, like, my ex-husband or my husband's ex-husband was at the time was in the Navy. He served me child support papers the night before I shipped out, knowing I couldn't go to court. All right.
Oh, the
I had
shade.
I had I had had my daughter and never asked him for any child support ever. Um, and yeah, and then wouldn't, like, literally, she didn't write to me. Wouldn't let me contact, like, no contact, like, uh I would write letters and stuff like that, and like send her
Oh,
stuff,
that's
and she
cruel.
wouldn't get it. Yeah, I don't have a relationship with my daughter at all.
He
Yeah,
ruined
she's
it.
21 now. He killed it. He called my battalion. Like, I was talking to him because we had 50-50 share custody, and I was in the barracks, which is fine. But if I wanted to pay for my daughter to come see me, um, where were we gonna stay? I was like, hey, I can live off base if you tell them I have 51%, you know, and then I can live off base and she can come visit me. And this is just a conversation, you know. And I literally I'm out in the middle of the desert. I'm with the UAV drone company, and I gotta they come out and be like, yeah, your ex-husband called, said you were trying to defraud the government for BAH.
Stop it.
Just,
Oh my
yep.
god. Did you get like were there repercussions?
No.
Thank God. Like they
Well,
didn't
I
like
mean, I
write you
wasn't.
up or anything.
No, they didn't write me up, but now there's like a just stupid bullseye on my back, like I'm a bad person, like some defraud. I was like, this is a conversation over the phone, like, and it was like an upbeat conversation. Like he was like, yeah, I'll think about it. I'll think about it, you know. I was like, you're still getting child support. I still have to donate plasma to pay my phone bill, but so I just want to see my daughter. And yeah, that was it was bad. So and that just trickled
That's
down to like you just gotta get over it and kind of I just gotta move on, and because I didn't need to waste any more energy on. I'm not saying my daughter or anything like that, but I wasn't getting anywhere. Wasn't getting anywhere. She's not 18. I'm like, he's already taking most of my paychecks. And he was not as cool as when I met him. How about that? That's
yeah.
that's the biggest. That was the biggest challenge. Is
So going through all
he's
of that,
alone.
meanwhile
He was
trying
just
to
making it
connect with your
harder.
daughter and you getting your having your daughter being kept from you while you are giving up most of your check to support her
Yeah.
and your letters being kept from her.
I mean,
So
I,
she
I think she got him, but I mean, she might have. But he was talking so much mad junk about me with her, even before I left. It was, uh, it
so
was,
basically she got raised to like hate you or something.
yeah,
That's horrible. I think that's child abuse. You were like unless the parent, and I mean even when the parent sometimes you can't hide it. But I think it's like it's just my opinion, so everybody does what they do, right? But I think it's really more destructive, especially the younger the child is, not to build up the other parent, right? Because a child needs both parents. So when one is being kept from the child, if they're not like abusive, horrible people, obviously there's
no,
circumstances,
right,
but
like,
like, you know what I
I,
mean? Like, I think it's so harmful. And it's so makes me so sad to hear that that's been your experience.
like, even before I left, I picked her up from elementary school, from school, and she's like, uh, Tracy said you had to change your last name from Ballagh to Templeton. How does she know my maiden name? And I was like, why did
Wow.
she say that? Because you're not married to daddy anymore? I'm like, she does not come up with that her with her by herself. Like that was the most off-putting thing. I stopped the car. I was like, your last name's Bella, my last name's Bella, and until I get married again, that's how it is. I ain't changed my name back. Oh my god, it got me so effed up. But he was a cop, and his wife was a cop, and we were
Mhm.
in a town that had like 3 judges. He paid people to go on the stand and lie about me. I mean, it all got thrown out because it was all lies, but the judge still heard it. And they walked in their police uniforms. I didn't have a speeding ticket. I was taking
Wow.
care of her full time, and then I got every other weekend. I was like, nope, I'm not staying in this place for every other weekend. You got me so messed up, and that's when I joined the army. Like,
Oh
you
my
gonna take her, fine, but every other weekend? No, I'm not doing that. Nope, not the one. I'm out of here. And I'll make it for a good reason. So joining the army was a really
god.
good reason.
That's so heartbreaking.
So
I'm really sorry that that was your experience. It's
yeah,
just not right. It
but
feels almost like an abuse of power, and
yeah,
you got the shit end of the stick. So then you went off to the military and then got in the military and then experienced some
I
very
we've been
crazy
divorced
toxic.
10 years, and he was still putting salt on my game. Like, we've been divorced 10 years, dude. It cost me $2,000 to go for a weekend to visit my daughter with all the expenses, and then you're gonna call me the night before and be like, um, just to let you know, she's under the impression that you drank while you were pregnant. I didn't tell her that, but I'm like, and I was like, you're awesome. You're awesome. She's like, you got it. So messed
It's
up.
really heartbreaking. I'm really sad to hear it.
Yeah,
Like that
I got,
that's
I got good old boy.
so
And I
how
get it.
so
Okay.
through your experience with this, you're going through all of this in your home life. You are, going through all of this drama on the job, even though you're great at your job. Um, you served 4 years. What made you decide to get out? Was it so that you could go try to have a relationship with your daughter, or was it the toxic leadership just got too much? What made you decide to get out?
I did an exit physical for another soldier who was who just found out like minutes before that they were getting because they wanted to go to another unit or another whole base, and he was just getting sent right back to the same unit. Same.
Oh.
He got recycled too. I was like, oh no, no,
So you saw like, "Oh, I'm gonna be stuck here." You felt like you
no,
wanted to
not.
move.
It's possible though. Yeah, it was a possibility, and you got me messed up if you think I'm gonna stick around. But he didn't have a choice. He like literally re-upped only to get sent back to the same unit.
Well, if you love
I
that
was like,
unit, that's great. If you hate that unit, you're you're
nobody loved
screwed.
that unit. Nobody
Mm.
loved that unit. That's where careers go to die, pretty much.
Ooh.
And then yeah, I couldn't take like uh the stupidity anymore. And my dad was still a doctor, and so I went back and I was gonna work for him, and I did. And I could definitely make more money anywhere else than the army.
Yeah.
So it's all good. I just
Equal
look at
pay,
one of the
but not
monthly statements
much
like
pay. Right? Like,
like
there's equal pay, but there's not much pay, as they say.
uh, well, and as a medic, you're 24/7. So
Mhm.
divide that up into 4 hours a day. I mean, you pay like 5 cents an hour. Rough.
Girl.
Yeah, I'm
So
good. I'm good.
that was it for the military. And so so if there was something that you did love about it or that you miss about it now, what would it be?
I love helping soldiers. I love,
Mhm.
I love helping people, but like, yeah, and I miss I miss being around the military, and that's like my biggest thing right now is like I'm not around anybody military. I'm about to lose my mind.
Girl, I understand that.
So
I was the girl who couldn't wait to get out. So when I finished, I was like, I'm out. Like, peace out. I got my college money. I'm going. Girl, when
Yeah.
I tell you within 3 years, I was so like, I was like, I hate civilian life. Like, I mean, what no one's sane. Now the people who I serve with, I thought they were so crazy. Now that's more sane to me than this is sane to me, because I just don't understand, like, I don't understand how I went into corporate America, so I did not understand how those people operated. I was so different, but because of my military service. So the thing that helped
Right.
me the most, because that girl, I literally hit rock bottom like 3 or 4 years after I got out of the military, and I didn't understand why.
Right.
And what I learned, and during that difficult time period for me, was like I was literally like 2 weeks from being homeless. Um, what I learned
I've been
was
homeless.
that, so you see, so you get like, it's really difficult when you're struggling. And I had disability. I came out with disabilities, so that ruined my marriage and all the stuff that I could spiral into. But the point of the matter is that I realized that I needed to be around other veterans, and I actually joined the American Legion, and I was like the only girl. Yeah, and I was young too. Like, I was young. Like, I joined them when I was like 30, and I was young, a young woman around all these men. Same, like, same thing in the military. Um, but I
Uh,
felt so much better to be around um other military and talk stories and like listen to their
just
stories. And
like-minded people. Yeah.
yeah, they understand in a different way that people who have never served and never wore the uniform, they don't understand. So I always tell people, and I've been doing this a long, even before the podcast, I would like connect with other veterans online and, or in person, when I would meet up with them. And I would always tell them, especially if they were struggling or going through anything like heavy emotional, or really struggling with their mental health or PTSD or whatever, I would tell them two things, like, get all your benefits, get all your benefits, and connect with other veterans. Join veterans organizations, groups, go to not for profits. Like, I work with the Barbara Giordano Foundation and Hope for Vets, right? And both of those organizations do classes and workshops. I did like a seminar a couple of years ago with Woven, that works with women veterans, and it's a place. And when I do workshops and stuff for female veterans, it's a place where we all get together and we talk and we share and listen to each other, and it just feels amazing. It feels so good. It has helped me heal in so many ways, and I always suggest it to people. Sometimes you go into a group and it's not the right fit, but keep trying. Like, don't get the same
Yep.
thing with therapy. Like,
Yep.
you don't find the right
Yep.
therapist on the first try, keep trying. Like,
A lot. I tell that to a lot of people. I like they're okay. So, ooh, we just opened up a whole new can of worms, girl. Um, so when I was down in El Paso, I um came across Matt Best, Jared Taylor, Vincent Vargas, the Article 15 clothing,
Mhm.
Drinking Bros podcast. That started down in El Paso.
Oh,
That was
wow. I didn't realize
um,
that.
a huge veteran community. That just started right when we were there. Um, I was bro of the week on the third podcast. Um, let's see. Um, yeah. So like we all met at the Irish bar on base or whatever, and then so Vincent Vargas, he was on the spin-off show of Sons of Anarchy. He was
Oh.
Gilly. He was a Gilly. He was border patrol, and then in the army too. He was he maybe I'm not sure. I'm not gonna say because I don't know. But don't remember. Um, but yeah, so I ended up starting like doing the whole like getting into this whole veteran group down there, and then when I left and I came up to Indiana, so there's chapters in every state. So before I travel anywhere, I join every state chapter because if I break down, I'm going like Kansas, like Kansas, Irreverent Warriors it's called. So well, no, well both of them. Drinking Bros at first, yeah, because if I broke down in that state, I would go on to the Drinking Bros, Illinois or Kansas, and be like, "Hey, anybody close to me? My car just popped a tire, or whatever." And someone will come out, like fix your tire, take you out, let you sleep on the couch, and then get you back on the road again. Don't even know you, but you know we're brothers and sisters. And came up to Indiana, and I started to get the three chapters that were stagnant up here more involved, and I started doing like get-togethers at breweries and stuff like that. And um, that kind of fizzled off a little bit. People just went their separate ways. Get it? And then I found another veteran community called Irreverent Warriors, and Irreverent Warriors is they they bring veterans together um, using camaraderie and humor, and to help with mental health and veteran suicide. And
Mm.
I'm on a lot of the vigilante groups, so veterans can, like, if I see like somebody's not doing well, I can't, nobody will talk to them, or they have a gun in their mouth.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, yo, call me. And, um, so I talk to veterans in need, and like, like right there, because life's shitty. It is.
It
But,
can be. That's for sure.
right? Yeah. And, you know, I'm still a big part of it. Like, I love it because they do hikes in all the major cities around the United States. And we travel there and we meet new people. We see our old friends. Key West is one of my favorite ones. Fort Lauderdale, New York. I got to see New York for the first time. And we all get Airbnbs together. And I've never stayed with the same person twice. You know what I mean? But like,
Wow.
those are my
Mhm.
people. They don't live around me, but they're my people. Like, I'm about to go down to Tennessee and I'm about to stop by one of my their this family and stop by their house because they're veterans like me in the same community. And yeah, I yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
yeah, that's all I want to do. That's all I want. Like, that was where I'm supposed to be right now. Like, I took a chance and got rid of my house and bought an a 1984 RV to um, rebuild and everything like that. Went down to Texas to be an RV technician, just so I could like travel around. And I was gonna do this like female podcast, you know, traveling around and fix people's RVs, um, at all the hike, go to the hikes and connect Reverend Warriors with Drinking Bros. It astonishes me that like people in these groups don't know about these groups. Like, are you living under a
Mhm.
rock? There is probably a veteran 3 doors down from you that has nobody else to talk to, and you don't know he's there, and he doesn't know you're here. And so, like, yeah, I that is like my number one promote is I want to like if you're having a hard time with like okay, where are you located, and I'll get on both of those groups, and I'll find somebody near him or in that city, and I'm like here, join this group, join this group. Like, you got friends, like they're right there. You just didn't know they're there. I was like, add them to the group. They get in there. Somebody's gonna come. Somebody's gonna come see you. So if you need something, somebody's gonna come. That's
Oh my
or if you
gosh,
have a
I love
question
that.
about
You
anything,
need a
if
like,
I
a
don't know,
website.
I'm gonna find somebody who knows. Yeah, like if I don't know the answer, I know somebody who probably does know the answer, and I'm gonna put you in contact with them. If not, I'm gonna help you find the answer because you know
Yeah, girl.
it's
I love
absolutely
that.
absolutely If
I
only
love
I would,
that.
you know, because like yeah, the whole like podcast I was thinking about doing was like to let female veterans know like you do not have to be somewhere you are not happy. You can start over. Girl, watch me. Like
Make that podcast.
I got rid of I got I got rid of everything. Took me 9 days to get to Texas because I broke down 3 times. You know, I was like, it's like you can start another life. You like do it.
It's true.
Like everybody's scared. Just scared. Like and I
So,
get it. I get you're scared, but
so I was
yeah.
actually going to ask you. So I only have one question left, really, and that is, if you had advice for your veteran sisters coming behind you, what would it be? And I think that's part of it. But what else would you say?
Don't settle. Don't settle for less than what you're worth. Uh, no, we did a thing. We did a thing. They might have, like nobody's going to look at you and see like, oh, that's a veteran because you're wearing like we don't come out looking like that. We don't grow beards and get a big belly. We don't do that.
We should wear our
Like I
hats more. We should wear more veteran gear, I think.
I wear tons of veterans. Well, I mean, kind of, but but yeah, no. I mean, Black Rifle Coffee, like um, I promote them as much as I possibly can. By Article 15 clothing, like that's what I want to do. Is like I want veterans to succeed, even though I'm not.
Mhm.
But it's just like, and I have like I want to do more, and I'm stuck. It has been like the roughest. Last year was the worst year of my life.
For
Um,
so many people, girl. It was a tough year for me
I
too,
was
so I feel you.
I was stuck in a. I was, so like I said, I bought a vintage Winnebago and was driving down my vintage Winnebago. It broke down 3 times. If I knew then what I knew now, I would have been fine. But I wasn't as mechanically inclined. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I got taken for like $3,000 at this one place, and
Oh,
um, I slept on the side of the road 40, 30. Um, um, and then I went to school, but then my engine didn't want to engine anymore, so I had to learn how to rebuild a 1984 um, Chevy 454 big block 8 cylinder in the doghouse of my RV, which was my home with my 2 dogs, and the air conditioners weren't working, and since it was a vintage RV, a lot of places wouldn't let me stay there. So I ended up having to put my RV, my home, in storage and go stay at this place called the Serenity Village in Texas. And they have a like 8x8 shed, little mini houses for displaced veterans. And stayed in those for about 4 months because I applied for a VA grant to just drop a new engine into my, that's all I needed, just a new engine. I had the price, I had somebody to do it, I had everything planned out, but um, I, I wasn't, my hardship wasn't enough, apparently, because I was in a homeless place for vets, and they saw my, my, they, they decided off of my credit or my bank statement. They said, something about like I would get takeout from Chili's. And obviously, there's no hardship if I'm going to Chili's. Well, if you would have called me and asked me my story, like an appetizer from Chili's would feed me and my dogs for like 2 days.
oh wow.
And because I had a small refrigerator, so buying groceries was, rough to do because I didn't have a lot of places. I had like a mini fridge and I didn't have storage. So
Mhm.
getting like a salad and a big, appetizer platter lasts me like 3 days. And so I spent 3 months getting only to get a denial on that. And nobody even called me and talked to me and wouldn't do anything. I like, and then so my air conditioners couldn't keep up with the heat in Texas, and so I would leave my door open with my dogs. I had like a fence in around, and like that dog right there. Oh, that's Donner. And he was my backup service dog for my boxer. She was there with me, ooh, right there. She's still upstairs, but she was training him, and it was so hot. Like, and I got an RV tech job, so I went on the job, and this little guy like got out and got hit by a truck, and because air conditioning was working, I couldn't. Like, I was trying to make money. I was doing but I didn't have any help. Like, I tried. I asked for help. Do you know how hard it is to ask for help? I asked for help. Like, I was living off of my disability money altogether, which I it was gone before I even saw it. You know what I mean? Because of of how of everything that happened up until that point. Like in the VA, like I had a 10-page statement letter with timestamps and photos and videos of my whole travels because they were like, "How did you get from here to here?" I got you. Here we go. Mm-hmm. The receipts, everything. I was like, it, and and they're like, "You don't have enough hardship." I'm like, well, and I had all the proper paperwork too. Who else has that proper paperwork? Or who's getting like boom, 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 all that stuff? And I'm like, like anymore, like so homeless. Being homeless isn't hardship enough. I mean, I was at a village for homeless people. I had a bunk bed an hour away from my rig, so I couldn't even work on my rig because I couldn't afford gas to drive to my rig and try to work on it with no power. The storage unit that I'm paying for now because I don't know because
So how did you get out of that situation?
the day my dog got hit, I was like, oh, I'm done. I'm done. That like I had taken my engine down. I had taken the I had, I had down to the block. And I saw I had a pre-detonated cylinder. And at that point, I couldn't do anything else for it by myself. Um, the cylinders would have had gone to a mechanic and like took every cylinder out or honed out, and I would have just dropped my whole block. Like I can't do it by myself. I did a lot by myself. Thank God for ratchet straps and Reddit, YouTube. Um,
Wow, that's
and
wild.
so he got I like the next day, I put my RV up on Facebook Marketplace for sale, and I was like, I'm just gonna grab a U-Haul and put it behind my car, and I'm out. I'm out. I don't even care. Like whole year, like I had been restoring this RV for a year now. Like I hand painted the outside. It had glitter. Like I mean, I don't like I hand painted the whole inside. Everything's been remodeled and everything, like up to date stuff. Because like I was an RV technician and now I'm a mechanic. Um, yeah, I was using it, and I sold it and just took my stuff and left.
And so that's how you started over.
Had That's how I'm back home again. Because originally, if they would just dropped a new engine in, I would have been on my merry way. I had so many job offers, but I couldn't get there. My home's engine didn't work.
Yeah, and like honestly, 2025 was a doozy for a lot of people. I don't think I know one person who will say that they went through 2025 and didn't have drama or hardship or crazy things happen that they had
Yeah.
to overcome. But I'm really glad that you made it back home, that you have such good advice to like, don't settle, don't feel like you're stuck. You can get out of it because it's a
Can.
lot of times when we're facing hardship like that, it feels so insurmountable. And when you go to the VA and they don't even help you, it feels like you're really stuck.
Right.
So I'm really glad to see that you were able to come through that to the other side. And I actually just really want to thank you so much for being a guest on the Female Veterans Podcast. We've been 1 hour 25 minutes, so it's time for me to wrap it up. But sometimes when you
That's
have a
fine.
good story, you got to tell your story, and I'm so
No,
grateful you
meaning
for me,
anytime. I got plenty more. Got plenty
girl.
more. I'm about to start another life. So I know,
Girl,
right? I'll be in Nashville, Tennessee in a couple of days, maybe.
that's so
But
exciting.
I know,
Well,
right?
I definitely wish you a lot of luck and a lot
Thank
of
you.
success. And
Thank
I
you.
want to hear all about your exciting adventures. And I feel like you definitely need a website where you can connect like a directory where you can connect all of these organizations together and with the veterans that they can help. I love that idea. I hope you bring it to life. And when you do, come back to the podcast and we'll talk about
I
it
will.
and promote it. Okay.
Yeah. For real.
Again,
I'm not done yet.
I know you're not. I can see that. Thank you again for being a
I'm
guest.
not done yet. Yeah. Thank you.
So, well, with that, we're going to wrap it up. I'll put you in the green room and I'll see you in just a second.
Okay.
Wasn't she lovely? She was very, very cool and with a very big story and has been through so much. So I appreciate you watching the Female Veterans Podcast. I'm really kind of new to doing videos. I don't have that many, as you can see. So go to the channel, subscribe, share this with someone who might like to hear our stories. Um, Definitely catch the Female Veterans Podcast that's now streaming on Citizen Green TV. You can find it there. I'm also on CHW Radio, so you can download that in the Play Store as well. Again, I love to work with Hope for Veterans right here. You can find them at hopeforvets.org. You can go and support the Barbara Giordano Foundation. I do some work with them. And as always, if you're a female veteran and you want to connect me, definitely drop a comment. Go to the Female Veterans Podcast on Instagram. Send me a DM over there. Drop a comment on one of my posts over there. You can find me in all of these places. I really appreciate you for all the love and the support. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with me. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next time.